And there go all the books. Okay. Hi, readers. It's Lori. Welcome back to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper, or welcome. If you're new to my channel, I'm happy that all of you are here. I'm happy that I am here. I was away for 5, 6 days, I don't even know, on a little trip. And so I had filmed some content ahead before I left, and now I am back and just excited to tell you about my trip. I'm not going to tell you about my trip in this video particularly, but I am going to tell you about some of the books that I bought. So we went to Boston and to Salem, Massachusetts, and we had a wonderful experience. I couldn't have asked for anything better. I have been to Boston before, my partner has not. And so she was really enjoying these things for the first time. And then, of course, I enjoyed a lot of things for the first time too, because when I went before, it was a work trip. So I didn't get to do as much as we were able to do. Everything was beautiful. The weather was gorgeous. It was cold, which we really needed. We came back to the soul sucking heat. It was everything just timed right for us. Like it just, it was incredible. So you'll hear or see more about it because I did take some footage. But for today, I'm going to talk to you about the books that I hauled for the second half of the month of May, including some books that I got when I was in Salem and Boston. So let's get started. So the first one is a library loan that I didn't get to and need to. If I'm going to read this, I'm going to have to renew it because I didn't get to it before I left. But it was one of those situations where I put it on hold, it came available, and then I was leaving to go on vacation. And I try not to take library books on long vacations just because what if I left it there by accident? But this is 33 Place Bugman, Alice Austen, new author to me, done some theater plays, but I don't know if she's written another book. However, I saw this one. It is so intriguing to me. I love this cover, but also Anne Patchett blurbed it. It is set in Brussels on the eve of the Nazi occupation, and the people that live in 33 Place Brugman are going to obviously be impacted. So they live all together in this apartment complex. They're friends. It begins with a list of their names and where they live and what they do. And I just can't tell you. I read just a tiny bit when I first began to take a look at this when I got home last night. And I think I'm going to love it. I just need to find the time to get to it because I'm feeling a little overwhelmed by the stuff that's on my lists of things to read. And yeah, but very happy with this. And it's been blurbed by Ann Patchett, as I said, but also Abraham Verghese, Christina Baker Klein, Abuela, and Scott Turow. So good recommendations. I don't doubt that this is going to be a great historical fiction. So I pre-ordered one in May. So this is the one I got, Marble Hall Murders by Anthony Horowitz. I know I mentioned this when I did the And Then They Were Murdered episode about him, but so excited to see this. If you didn't watch that episode, this is book 3 in the Susan Ryland series. I love this series so much. I want it to go on and on forever, but alas, I don't think it will. However, I'm not going to tell you a whole lot about it because it's the third one. And so there's some information in the synopsis that you right away find out about Susan Ryland that you might not want to know if you haven't read the first two. The first one is Magpie Murders, and the second one is Moonflower Murders. And again, this one is Marble Hall Murders, and I cannot wait to get to this. Anthony Horowitz writes a book within a book. So this is a book about Susan Ryland herself, and then it also has a book inside that is an Atticus Pond book. So that's how these have gone. And I really am, again, kind of disappointed that he doesn't plan to write anymore. Then a friend of mine met up with me because I bought a piece of art because she's an amazing artist. I'll link her in the description box below because she's just incredible. And I have 2 pieces of her art in my house. just a wonderful person in the world. Anyway, she had given me a while ago a set of books that were special editions of Jane Austen novels that were published at that time by the Book of the Month Club. And this is years and years and years ago. And it was just such a great thing for her to gift to me. They were her mother-in-law's. Book of the Month Club, New York. Yeah, so this is Northanger Abbey. She found it, didn't realize she didn't give it to me the first time. Look how beautiful. They all look like this. I mean, I'm just so touched by this gift from her. I just love it. And I love Jane Austen. And this is just, it's perfect. So I'm going to add it to the stack on my shelves in a special place where I can just pick one up whenever I want. So I will not probably ever read another version of Jane Austen again as I reread. They will be these because they're so pretty. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you. Okay, and thank you for the piece of art too. It's gorgeous. We love it. Then, of course, we went to Boston. So we did a couple of things while we were in Boston. The first time we had the day to do things, we went to the JFK library. Now, we are fans of history, presidential history in particular, and anytime we have a moment to go to a presidential library, we do. And so this was obviously in the cards for us. And I actually have a postcard too that she picked up. I didn't realize. So we both, made some choices book-wise. So this is Quotations of John F. Kennedy. Can you see? It's his signature there. He had a very interesting handwriting. But this is just a lot of great quotes. And there were quotes all over the library on the walls, and some of them are just very profound and inspiring. He was a great orator. There's a whole person that we find out more about in time almost for every president, right? Like, and there's some things that, we know about John F. Kennedy that I wish I didn't know in some ways. But when we were in the library, we just really focused on him as in his wife, Jackie, and on the things that he had done. And so the quotations were incredibly profound. And of course, this was one of the greatest tragedies of our nation because he was assassinated. And so it's just a perfect time for me to have gone because I just started reading 11/22/63 by Stephen King. So then we went to several bookstores. One was Brattle Books, which was all used nonfiction, and it was 3 stories high, and it was incredible, but there was really nothing there that I really wanted to grab, so I didn't get anything there. And there was another book not far from our hotel called I Am Books, and we really loved that too, but I was kind of like, I don't know, I want to kind of see, what all's available, and because it was near the hotel, I could always go back. But then we went to Wicked Books. I think it was Wicked Books in Salem. And that's how we ended up with these 3. So this is the Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. My partner really wanted this, and I did too. I have wanted to read this, haven't gotten to it. Perfect timing, really. It's been on my backlist for a while, just didn't own it. But Grady Hendrix is a new favorite of hers because she just finished. She read the first one, the Southern Book Club or something. She read that one. I did not. She also then recently listened to How to Sell a Haunted House, loved it. And so now we're going to go to the Final Girl Support Group. So this one is perfect because it's set in the summer. It's a camping kind of situation. So think Texas Chainsaw Massacre, think Scream, think, a group of people together and something terrible happens. But this woman, Lynette, survives this massacre. She's a real life final girl, and she's been meeting with 5 other final girls and their therapists in a support group for those who've been through something awful to try to recover from this something awful. And then one woman misses a meeting, and it says her worst fears are realized. So she's afraid, I guess, now she's exposed by somebody to have been a final girl, and she probably knows some information they don't want her to know. But also, my partner loves autographed copies of books, so we have one of those as well. Wicked Good Books in Salem, Massachusetts. Can't beat it. It was just a lovely store, lovely people as well. And then we got A Storm of Witchcraft. This is nonfiction. This is one that we really wanted something about witchcraft in Salem because it seemed like the thing to do. And we did tour one of the homes where the judge lived and where he was one of the people that tried the witches. And so we visited that home, and it's called the Witch House. So it was perfect timing. But this is about the Salem trials and the American experience in that period of time by Emerson W. Baker, and it is very dense. So yeah. Will I read this? I don't know. Perhaps Lisa will read it and tell me all about it, but it does sound wonderful. And I do want to know more about the what happened there and all of this. I mean, we learned a lot through the tours and things that we did. There was a lot of history there. We had a lot of great guides and people that just gave us information, but this seemed like yes. And we have a couple others that she's acquired over the years about Salem and about what's happened there. And then this one is The Haunted History of Invisible Women, True Stories of America's Ghosts by Leanne Renee Heber, and Andrea James. Okay, so this is, it says on the back, from the notorious Lizzie Borden, you had us at hello, to the innumerable haunted rooms of Sarah Winchester's mysterious mansion. This offbeat, insightful, first ever book of its kind explores the history behind American female ghosts, their stereotypes, myths, and paranormal tales that swirl around them, what their stories reveal about us, and why they haunt us. So one of them haunted Joan Rivers' New York apartment. One of them was the first witch to be executed in the Salem witch trials. And so there's lots of things. There's a shirtwaist factory fire, and some of the witches came, or some of the ghosts came from that. This seems like a great one as well. It is kind of tiny print, but not as tiny as the other one. And I could probably do like a chapter now and again and just really kind of take a look at it little by little, but it's gotten some good reviews. She doesn't look things up on Goodreads. She doesn't care about that sort of thing, so I haven't either, but she even put a ghost on the signature. I love it so much. All right, so that is it. That is my haul for the month of May. I have some thoughts about no buys coming up, maybe a no buy July, since that rhymes very, very well. I don't know. But I am also, there's some books coming out in June that, as you know, because I posted the June anticipated reads, they are really some good ones, some hard hitters there, some auto buy authors for me. So no buy July might be a thing. I don't know that no buy June is, but we shall see. I am somewhat more calm in the summer from book buying than I am any other time. Like I went into several bookstores and didn't get anything, which I thought was quite something, including the one I'm going to show you in the vlog. So I'm not even going to tell you what it is. It was just huge. It was the biggest bookstore I think I've ever seen in my life, but didn't buy a thing. So I know that it is partially just summer, and it's also partially just my commitment to wanting to read this backlist. But I did get a few, and I feel okay about it, and I am happy to bring them to you. So thanks for watching today. Let me know in the comments below if you have any of these books, if you've thought about reading any of these books, if you've heard of any of these books, let me know that too. If you've been to Boston, feel free to tell me your experiences there. In the comments below, if you don't want to tell me anything, you can always add an emoji. So you could add a witch today because that seems very fitting. Or you could also add anything else that reminds you of these books that I talked about today. And as always, happy reading. Bye.